you have been on social media lately, you've probably heard about quiet quitting. What is it actually? There's no definitive answer to this question as it may mean different things to different people. Some define quiet quitting as doing the bare minimum or just enough not to be fired. Other self-identified quiet quitters still strive to do their job as expected within the parameters of the 9 to 5 workday. It is often associated with the famous slogan, Act Your Wage, which warns against going above and beyond one's job description without being adequately compensated. This means starting work precisely on time, leaving on the dot, and refusing to take on any additional piece of responsibility. There are several reasons why people pursue quiet quitting. Many employees have become victims of job creep, where there is a gradual expansion in their duties and responsibilities over time without a corresponding pay increase. This has been particularly true during the COVID-19 pandemic, where companies had to consolidate positions and eliminate redundancies to keep operations afloat. But the unfortunate thing is that some employees are still expected to keep up with the same workload even as the economy is recovering. They are made to work overtime, sometimes even unpaid, just to finish their tasks. As this continues, employees end up being overworked, eventually becoming burned out. At this point, quiet quitting seems appealing because it allows them to manage their stress levels and subtly protest against the management without losing their paycheck. There is also this phenomenon called quiet firing, which people have also been talking about recently. Employers who practice this don't dismiss their workers outright but do not give them any room for advancement or salary increases. Even if the employee performs well and even if the manager already promised this promotion months ago. On the extreme side, employers can even quiet fire workers by making working conditions so undesirable that they would want to resign themselves, often because they don't want to pay severance or have no real reason for firing the employee. These different forms of quiet firing increase employee disengagement and apathy, making it another cause for quiet quitting. Now, as Christians, how do we approach quiet quitting from the perspective of the Word? First, if there's one thing that we can learn from this trend, it's the importance of setting healthy boundaries. When we are tired and burned out, our initial instinct should be to look for strength from God. Ephesians 3:16 teaches us that God has unlimited resources of inner strength through His Spirit. However, as human beings, we have our physical limitations. God has created us in a way that we need to rest. Even God Himself set the example of resting after 6 days of creation. Therefore, even as the distinction between work and the rest of life has been blurred with these new working models, it is vital to set some protected time and to take time off periodically. Ecclesiastes 3:1 teaches us that there is a time for every activity under heaven, and that includes time for our leisure and enjoyment. But perhaps instead of using the term quiet quitting to describe this, let's call it simply pursuing work-life balance. Second, if there is a significant issue surrounding job creep, burnout, or any other circumstance in the working environment causing you to want to quiet quit, it might be best to start a conversation with your superiors and try to find an amicable resolution. Your boss might not completely understand the size of your workload and the type of support needed to make your situation more manageable, so open communication is the key. Third, if you cannot solve the problem through communication, finding a better working environment might be best instead of coasting in the same position over extended periods. No matter what the cause of quiet quitting is, it will not lead to growth. Remember that God wants to bless us more than we can ever ask or imagine. He does this by blessing the work of our hands. If work is characterized by mediocrity because of quiet quitting, one would not be able to fully realize the extent of prosperity God wants for their life. Hence, it would be best to be in a position where you enjoy your work and be in an environment where you can willingly fulfill your job responsibilities, just as if you are serving Christ Himself.